Welcome back to the channel, guys. Self Educated Economist here, and today on Christmas Day, I'm going to be talking about the bullish case for Bitcoin. So, right now, I'm looking at a monthly chart for Bitcoin, and I'm looking at all of the pullbacks that Bitcoin has had pretty much since 2023, and pretty much since the bull market began for Bitcoin. I would say pretty much this month here, which was January 2023. So as you could see, Bitcoin had its first real pullback was July 2023 to the bottom here in September 2023, and it was a 21, almost 22% pullback. Then it rallied significantly from there, and then it pretty much made the all-time high was in March of 2024, and that was behind the ETF, the release of the ETF. If I remember correctly, Bitcoin made an all-time high. And I believe this was before the halving, and that was the first time Bitcoin ever made an all-time high before the halving. So that was pretty interesting. But regardless, Bitcoin made a pullback as well, and it went into this multi-month consolidation, and it had a 32% pullback from the all-time high down to the low, which was at what number is this here? Sorry, guys. The low was 49,000, just above 50,000. And then it rallied again from that point, and it got up to this point, and this was in January, earlier this year, the beginning of this year, 2025. And then it also did another pullback into the early spring, and it made a 31.5%, almost 32% pullback. It's probably closer to a 32% because these are not exactly to the number. And then the most recent pullback, which is bigger than the other three previous ones before that, three previous ones before that, and it's like around 36%. So it is bigger. So, in my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to look bullish here and recover, it's going to have to. I think personally, I think it needs to close this month bullish. So it would need to close this month above 90,003. Let's call it $90,400. If Bitcoin could do that, and not only that, recover the red symbol, so it's not red, the red EMA here, then Bitcoin might have a bullish case to maybe make an all-time high at some point next year. I personally don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just trying to think of what's the opposite argument. What is the bullish case for Bitcoin? I don't think there's much here, but technically Bitcoin is still, with this low here, the most recent low, it's still a higher low versus this low, the previous low, which was at $76,702. And this low over here is 80,600. So it's still technically a higher low. So when you look at it from a monthly perspective, Bitcoin technically is still in a bullish posturing. I personally don't think it's gonna recover. I do think it's gonna make a counter trend rally at some point next year. I think in the first quarter of next year, and probably make an attack at that $100,000 price mark. But then somewhere around that price, I think it's gonna be a bull trap and create a lower high, and then go to lower numbers after that. And realistically speaking, I think Bitcoin will get somewhere around here, around this $60,000 mark at some point next year. Right now, so it's gonna connect with this green EMA. So this is the 55 exponential moving average. That's how Bitcoin always does in every bear market, and sometimes it even goes a lot below that. I don't think Bitcoin will go much below that, but if it does, then that's a great buying opportunity. As you can see all through here, Bitcoin reconnects here during the bear market, and here during the Corona dump, it kind of reconnected as well during this mini bear market here. So yeah, so I think there's a bullish case for Bitcoin. Also, if you look at it from a quarterly perspective, Bitcoin technically, let me see if I could hide these things. Bitcoin's still looking. These are the only two charts that really, technically Bitcoin still looks somewhat bullish. or still technically in a bullish posturing because it's still just a higher low. But I, ultimately speaking, I think Bitcoin will at some point earlier next year make a counter trend rally up to 100K, possibly above, create a higher low. Sorry, not a higher low, a lower high, and then go to lower numbers, possibly in the summertime of next year. So that's my bullish case for Bitcoin today on New Year's Day. So New Year's Day on Christmas Day. I hope you guys have had a happy holidays, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.